So good afternoon, everyone. You're all very welcome to the last of our lunchtime information sessions during Cavan Institute's virtual Open Week. So today we're going to focus on student finance, and we'll take a look at the course fees in Cavan Institute, and we'll look at funding opportunities that are available to you if you choose to study a PLC course with us in September. So my name is Aoife Ward, and I'm one of the guidance counsellors here at Cavan Institute. And we see it in our guidance work every year, how important it is that students do their financial planning and get well prepared from a financial perspective as early as possible, so that they start the year off and are able to move through the year well. So first of all, we'll have a look at the course fees that are payable for courses in Cavan Institute. As a parent or as a student, we know how important it is that you have clarity around the costs of college. So I'll go through a breakdown of course fees here for the year, for the level 5 course here. So the registration fee is €250, and €50 of this is a booking fee, which is non-refundable. There's also a PLC government levy of €200 and a QQI exam fee, which is €50. And if you have a medical card or if you're eligible for the SUSI grant, then you will be exempt from both the PLC government levy fee and the QQI exam fee. Next is we're looking at course fees, and these will vary depending on the particular course that you're choosing to study. So the breakdown of this information is all available on our website, where you can see the various costs associated with your course. And this will include the registration fee, the levy, exam fees that we're talking about here. And it will also include course and class materials. So these costs could be uniforms, kits, course books, and any additional training that you do as part of your course. So it's really good to be familiar with the detail on the website with your particular course and help you be really prepared for September. So next we're going to look at the funding options that you can start to research just to check out what you're going to be eligible for and see if there's any financial support that you will be able to access. So the first option is SUSI. So the SUSI grant. Cavan Institute is an approved college for the PLC maintenance grant. So SUSI is available to eligible students who are attending a full-time course with us. So I'll just get you to move on the slides to have a look at SUSI. To apply for the grant, you complete an application online through the website, so that's susi.ie, and applications, they opened in April, and the closing date for submitting an application is the 8th of July 2021. So SUSI grants are means tested, so it's really important to review the eligibility criteria. There is an eligibility reckoner on the SUSI website, and it's also on the Cavan Institute website, and that will help you to check if this grant would be an option for you. So to be eligible, you must qualify under the criteria listed here. So first is residency and nationality. So if you're an Irish, EU, EEA or Swiss national, or if you have specific leave to remain in the state, and you have ordinarily been resident in the state for 3 of the last 5 years, then you will meet this eligibility criteria. The second one is an approved course. So again, all the courses in Cavan Institute are approved for SUSI. So attending one of our courses will and if you're progressing in your education, then you're meeting this criteria. The third one then is income, and I'll go into that in a little bit more detail here. And the fourth is the maximum period of grant assistance. So sometimes if you have had a grant in a previous life a few years ago, 10 years ago, it is worth checking with SUSI if you can now apply for another grant at a similar level. And again, it's worth talking to them about that. So on the income, with regard to income, there's 2 important factors. So the first one is the class of applicant that you are. So what's included in the calculation of your income for grant purposes, this will depend on what class of applicant you are. So there are 3 types, you can see them here. The first is dependent, which is under 23 on the year at the beginning of the year that you're going to start your course. We have mature dependent, which is a young person who's over 23 but living with parents or guardians. And the third then is independent student, and this is someone who is over 23 and living independently. So these are used to assess and establish if you are eligible for funding. So it's really important that you familiarise yourself with these different classes and you understand which one applies to you. So the next important thing then is to look at income thresholds. So we want to consider the income criteria with the income thresholds. So just get it to move on to the next there, please. So the reckonable income or income calculated for grant purposes will be assessed using specified thresholds. So here again is a graphic of the income thresholds, and you can access all of this information on SUSI's website. But just to give you a graphic of it here, you'll be able to work out where you're individually, where you're going to fall, which threshold applies to you. So to summarise then, with income, when it comes to SUSI, it's important that you know what type of applicant you are, whether that's dependent, mature or independent, and then also that you start looking at these income thresholds and you're able to calculate where your income falls, and that will tell you whether or not you're eligible for a full grant or 50%, 75%, etc. So this is what SUSI will use basically to assess and establish what you are eligible for. So next we're going to look at how you make your application for this grant and what is the grant process. So the applications can be made online at susi.ie. Step one is register your SUSI account online on the website. You complete and submit your application. Then we move on to step two. Based on the information provided in your application, you will receive a decision letter or a letter requesting documentation so that SUSI can complete the assessment of your application. Then step three is once your supporting documents have been submitted to SUSI, they've assessed them and they've been reviewed, you will be advised of the decision then. So you'll either be A, awarded your grant, or B, refused your grant. And then step four is really important to take note of these to make sure that you access your money in good time and it doesn't get delayed. So to receive payment then, the students who are eligible or are being awarded their grant will need to be registered with the college for the new academic year. They'll need to have a confirmation letter from their college that they are registered and attending, and then really important, you have to submit your bank details through your online SUSI account. So you have your own account, you submit your bank details there, and then they're able to pay the grant. So that's the application process. I'll just move on to just tips for you when you are doing this application. There's a lot of information on the SUSI website. It is all there and it's really, really useful, but it's important to start accessing the information early. So start looking at the website, the information, and make your application early. Secondly, make sure all of your personal details are 100% accurate, correct. So your PPS number, your date of birth, your phone number, your parents' PPS numbers, their date of birth. So make sure you get the accurate, correct information, because it will delay your application if they have to come back to you asking for other information. Then you can download the applicant information guide for 21-22. So this is a really useful guide. It'll simplify the information for you. You'll be able to go through it and know which parts are relevant to you and which parts are not, and you can move through it that way. So I do think this information guide, you'll get it on their website. It simplifies everything. So then the next thing is to work out what class of applicant you are. So are you a dependent applicant? Are you mature dependent, or are you independent? Then it's about submitting the documentation. So again, don't delay. If they come back to you asking for documentation, get on it straight away and get it submitted by the deadlines. If you feel you're delayed getting any information, if you're asking, if you're trying to get access information and it's being delayed, contact them. So make sure you get on the phone to the helpline or email them and let them know that you're delayed. And then lastly, there's an application tracker there, so you can use this in your online account, and this will help you to check the progress of your application at any stage. So that's really useful as well. So we'll leave SUSI then. We'll move on to the next funding option, and this is Back to Education Allowance. So this is known as BTEA, Back to Education Allowance. And if you're unemployed or parenting alone, or you have a disability and you are in receipt of certain payments from the Department of Social Protection, then you may be eligible to get a BTEA payment or allowance. You can only be approved for one of these maintenance payments, so it will be either BTEA or SUSI. For a PLC course, you can't get both. You can't access both of those. So it's one or the other, and you'll know which one is going to be better for you, which one will suit you best. So how will you know if you qualify for Back to Education Allowance? So in general, to qualify, you must be over 21, be in receipt of a qualifying social welfare payment. And again, the list of these payments, the ones that will qualify you for this allowance, they are listed on the department. They're actually listed on the Citizens Information website. So that's a useful way to access the information. You can also go to the Department of Social Protection and find out, and also studentfinance.ie. I have the website up on the slide there. It also has some information on Back to Education allowance. So the list is there. You'll see all the different payments, job seekers, and all the different payments are listed. And if you if you are in receipt of one of the qualifying ones, then you will be able to apply for Back to Education allowance. There is a qualifying period, which is usually 9 months before you start your course, and you must be in receipt of the payment immediately before you start the course. So that's the stipulation there. And sometimes this requirement can be waived if you're in receipt of the PUP payment, or if you have been awarded statutory redundancy. So again, really good to go check with the Department of Social Protection and see if you would be entitled to get immediate access to BTEA without the waiting period. So how do you apply? So when you're accepted onto a course, you should notify the Department of Social Protection by filling in the Back to Education Allowance application form, and you will get that from them directly. Then you need written confirmation that you're registered as a full-time student in Cavan Institute, and then you make sure that you apply on time. So you're going to be making this application before you start your course or within 30 days of starting the course. So again, like SUSI, don't delay. You know, September can be a busy time if you're coming back to college. So make this one of the priorities so that you're dealing with the Department of Social Protection. They have your application and you're able to get your payment transferred into Back to Education allowance. So you send, once you fill out that application and you do it in a timely way, you have it on time, and send the application then into the section in the Department of Social Protection that deals with your specific payment, so the payment you're on at the moment. So that's Back to Education allowance. I hope that explains that for you. Yeah, we'll move on to VTOS next. So VTOS stands for Vocational Training Opportunities Scheme. So this is another scheme, and we run it from Cavan Institute. So in Cavan Institute, we have some places available for this scheme. You can apply if you, again, are over 21, in receipt of a social welfare payment, and if you're doing a full-time course in Cavan Institute. So all of the information with guidelines on how to apply is available on our website. So we have the application is on Cavan Institute's website. You download it, fill it out, and send it back into us. Places are limited. You know, there isn't too many places on the VTOS scheme, but they're limited, and they will be allocated based on educational need and on you know, based around long-term unemployment. So if you are interested in applying, you can download the application and send it back to Adrienne in Cavan Institute. So the VTOS section in Cavan Institute, and again, contact us if you have any queries on the VTOS scheme. So the next one then, that's really the three areas where you can access funding, like financial assistance, help to pay your costs. The next two, I'm going to look at fund for students with disabilities, and I'll also look at the sports scholarship program in Cavan Institute. And I suppose these two are they're extra. They're not this fund for students with disabilities. There's no financial assistance there, but the fund provides funding to Cavan Institute, so to the college, so that we can assist you in offering supports and services, and that's to students with disabilities. So it's really to make sure that everyone can participate on an equal basis with everyone else. So this fund was managed by the Higher Education Authority on behalf of the Department of Education and Skills up until 2020, and then last year it was transferred over to SULIS. So it's managed by SULIS now. So applications to this fund are made on behalf of the eligible student. So we make the application, Cavan Institute makes the application on the student's behalf. And we do this based on an assessment of the student's needs. So the application, when you apply to Cavan Institute, you can indicate on your application form that you are interested in applying for additional supports, and then you will be followed up then with our Open Learning Centre, with our Special Educational Needs Coordinator, who's Maureen Lynch. We'll follow up with you in September, do a needs assessment, and then they make the application on your behalf. So again, more information on this funding is on our website. You can have a look there, and also on the Department of Education and Skills website, so education.ie, and under student finance, so studentfinance.ie has lots of information on everything that I'm talking about today. So the last area then that we're going to look at is the sports scholarships in Cavan Institute. So this sports scholarship program, it's open to students who play sport to a high level, and also to students who may not compete at a high level, but who are involved with running a club and have experience of organising and developing club structures. So the programme awards scholarships to a wide range of sports. You can see some of them there: Gaelic, camogie, handball, soccer, boxing, rugby, equestrian and swimming. And of course, we are always open to new sports that any of our students are involved with. So do get in touch if there's something else that you play and you play it at a high level or from an organisation point of view. So these awards offer you some financial assistance, the sports therapy treatments, we provide an academic mentor to help you balance your studies with your training, and also some sportswear. So that's what the awards will bring for you. And again, if you would like to be considered for a sports scholarship next year, you can complete an application form, which you will find on our website. And again, you send that back to the admissions office in Cavan Institute. So that is the last of the areas that we're looking at from a funding point of view and from finance point of view. I don't know if there's any questions there in the chat. We've got Orla here moderating today, so if there are any questions, you can let me know.
No, I think we're okay, Aoife. You've covered everything.
No questions
extensively there, so no questions. But thank you.
Okay, thank you, Orla. Okay, so then we can leave it at that for this afternoon. I hope that you found the session useful and informative. If you do have any queries around fees or funding options, please do let us know. We'd be really happy to help you directly, or we will be able to refer you to someone who will be able to support you if we can't. So you can contact us by email on admin@cavaninstitute.ie. Or through the website. So again, lots of information that's relevant to today's session on the website around course fees and also around grant information. So this I'll close off the session then. I want to thank you so much for joining us. This is the last lunchtime session of the week. So we hope you all have a great weekend, and we hope that we will see some of you in September on one of our Cavan Institute courses. Thank you so much.